groups of people that are connected with freedom and dignity. Secondly, to support individual sanctions about those criminals under the control of Mr. Lukashenko. And secondly, sending a delegation of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe to Belarus. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Klich, and thank you for keeping to time. The next speaker I have is Kimmo Kiljunen. You have the floor. Please introduce yourself. Kimmo, do we have you? I'm not seeing that we've got him. Can we move on? We seem to have lost him. Can we? The next speaker is Alexei Kondratyev. Alexei, you have the floor. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Спасибо, госпожа председатель. Добрый день, дорогие коллеги. Я представляю Россию. Я хотел бы заострить внимание на нескольких аспектах. Первое, я лично участвовал наблюдателем от стран независимых государств 9 августа на выборах президента Беларуси и знаю до тонкостей ту ситуацию, которая там происходила во время выборов, до выборов и после выборов. И у меня поэтому возникает несколько вопросов. Прежде всего к госпоже Тихановской. От имени каких миллионов белорусов выступает госпожа Тихановская, набравшая на этих выборах всего 10% с небольшим голосов, которые посчитаны как 588 622 человека. От имени каких миллионов она озвучивает мирные протесты, хотя на сегодняшний день более 100 пострадавших полицейских в самой Беларуси, получившие увечья и ранения от рук якобы мирных протестантов, символом которых стал погибший Александр Тарайковский, 34-летний ранее судимый житель Минска, погибший около метро Пушкинская, пытавшийся бросить взрывное устройство в граждан и в полицейских, подорвавшийся на собственном взрывном устройстве. Что касается заявления Франка Швабы об участии России и якобы вмешательстве, напомню, что официальные власти Беларуси недавно озвучили перехват разговора между Германией и Польшей с попыткой влияния на ситуацию. Может быть, это вмешательство рассмотрим. Поэтому сегодня очень много вопросов к этому процессу. Спасибо за внимание и за сотрудничество.
Thank you very much, Alexei. Can I go next to Maria?
Can I speak now? I'm actually in a line, I suppose.
Oh, Kimmo, fantastic.
Can I do?
Kimmo,
thank you very much. Madam Chair, dear colleagues, friends, I'm so sorry, I'm technically incompetent almost. So it's difficult to join the discussions. But I am actually heading the Finnish delegation of Finland in Council of Europe Parliamentary Assembly, as you might know. First, I would like to say so that autumn is appearing here in Northern Europe and maybe in other parts of the Europe too, but there's at least one place where we have spring, and that's in Minsk. It's absolutely magnificent to see peaceful big demonstrations, massive demonstrations on the Minsk streets, where people are genuinely expressing their will for democratization of the country and peaceful political changes. I really underline, though, as far as I know, all the demonstrations have been principally peaceful by nature, and also those have been genuinely national processes inside the country. And what I really would like to encourage is that the external forces, coming those from east or west, north or south, wouldn't interfere into the internal genuine national process inside Belarus for democratic changes. That's my big wish. What is needed in the country is a dialogue. I congratulate Political Committee and Council of Europe now that both Sviatlana Tshikanouskaya and Mr. Andrei Savinuk appeared for us today. Thanks very much for you to discussing and we can have a dialogue with you. One question is that could you think so that, and I'm asking those Sviatlana and Andrei, can you think that we could continue one or another way from Council of Europe side for helping these processes and dialogue in your country? Because both of you expressed in your statement that dialogue, peaceful dialogue is needed. So if we can help these processes, that would be magnificent. Of course, the ultimate end is, as Frank Schwabe earlier said, that Belarus could join us to share our common values on democracy, human rights, and rule of law. That obviously is that what we all wish, and the dialogue, if it could be helped in those processes, would be very positive. I wanted to ask your opinion on that one. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kalon. Can I next go to Maria Jufereva-Skuratovsky? Maria, the floor is yours. If we cannot get in Maria, we seem to be stuck on Kimo's screen. Ah, we've got Maria. Maria.
Hello.
We've actually got Maria Kolubeva. Right, Maria, yes. The floor is yours.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have heard from the Belarusian authorities controlled by Mr. Lukashenko today a total denial of the main issue.
Can I just stop you? Can you just say who you are and where you're from, the delegation as well?
Hello, I'm Maria Goldberg from the Latvian delegation. We have heard today on behalf of the Belarusian authorities controlled by Mr. Lukashenko a total denial of the main points raised both by Mrs. Tshikanouskaya and by the Belarusian people who protest in the last few weeks. That is the falsification of elections and police brutality, as well as the kidnappings of Maria Kolesnikova and other opposition figures. It is, however, noticeable that the whole attention is shifted by writing off the opposition as people who are manipulated by foreign powers or as provocateurs or as foreign agents. And I think this kind of response to democratic protests and demands for fair elections is unacceptable, and it is not characteristic of a democratic country. We should therefore be realistic in our expectations. We, of course, should support the motions for inclusive political processes and for electoral reform, but I do not believe that with the current stance of the Belarusian authorities, we can expect a positive change soon, unless we add other measures. And in that sense, I do support the proposal of the Polish representative concerning sanctions and direct involvement of Council of Europe delegation in the situation in Belarus. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Maria. That's, can we move now on to Rosa Bjork? If we can let Rosa Bjork in. Rosa.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rosa Björk Brynjólfsdóttir, and I'm the head of the Icelandic delegation to Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe. Dear Sviatlana Tshikanouskaya, I'm very moved by your courage, but very concerned about your colleague Maria Kolesnikova, and I agree with others that have said that Belarus should be a member state of the Council of Europe. We, the parliamentary delegation to the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe from Nordic and Baltic countries, issued a statement where we strongly support the Belarusian people and condemn violence and the brutality of the special forces and authorities against demonstrators. Nordic countries have reacted in different ways to the situation. Denmark has decided to support NGOs outside Belarus that are opposition NGOs. Finland supports EU sanction on Belarus if EU decided to do so, and Sweden has called for strong reaction against Belarus from the EU. And of course, you had personally support from Lithuania. What I would like to ask you is what you would like to see from us as a real support to the people of Belarus, so this process will not turn into more violent events, but into real democratic changes. And with that, I mean a support from outside. Thank you and good luck.
Thank you, Rosa. Can we now let in Teeny Cox, please?
Cheryl, sorry for interrupting you, Chair. Can we please give the floor to Mrs. Maria Juvereva-Skuratovsky from Estonia, who had been on our list and we lost her before?
Maria, yeah, we'll go back to Maria. And could we ask Kimo if he would try and duck out of this, because I've still got him up on my screen, unfortunately. Okay, Maria, the floor is yours. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Madam Chair, President, guests and participants. I am representative of Estonian Central Party. Estonian Parliament has adopted the declaration in which it is stated that Estonia does not recognize results of elections on 9th of August. And we call upon to stop violence in Belarus. And I would like to ask several questions from Sviatlana Tshikanouskaya. First, can you see me? Do you see a real possibility that within the next 6 months, the extraordinary presidential elections in Belarus could really be conducted? And my second question is, do you plan to candidate if such elections will take place? Thank you very much for your attention.
Thanks, Maria. I'm glad we got you in there. Can I now go to Teeny Cox, please? Teeny, you have the floor. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, good day from the Netherlands, The Hague. I represent the group of Unified European Left in the Parliamentary Assembly. I already issued a statement in which I called on behalf of my group to respect the right to demonstrate freely and peacefully in Belarus, to release all prisoners who are there and to stop any violence against peaceful demonstrators. But I would like to ask to both our contributors, Sviatlana and Andrei, whether they would be open to for a role of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe to play in overcoming the actual crisis in Belarus. The Parliamentary Assembly and the Council of Europe have many means to our disposal to help our member states, but also other states in overcoming crisis. So I would like to ask both to Sviatlana and Andrei whether they are open in cooperating together with the Parliamentary Assembly in a sort of roundtable discussion to see if and how we could be overcoming this crisis. And I do also support a proposal from other colleagues that it would be good if we would be able as Parliamentary Assembly to send a delegation to Belarus to observe on the ground how things are developing and to talk with all parties involved on how to prevent that things go completely out of hand and how to make sure that, again, there will be some respect, some principle respect for the fundamental rights that our organization and our member states share. So, Sviatlana, Andrei, would you be willing and would you be open to participate in a roundtable organized by the Parliament Assembly of the Council of Europe as soon as possible? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Teeny, and thank you for those questions. Can we now give the floor to Emanuelis Zingares? Zingares, please. Emanuelis Zingares, please. 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 Zingares please introduce yourself.
Yes. Hello for everyone. My name is Emmanuel Zinguris. I'm a member of Council of Europe Parliamentary Assembly since 1993. Now currently Vice Chairman of Committee on Legal Affairs, Council of Europe Parliamentary Assembly, and I'm a chairman in my Foreign Affairs Committee of Subcommittee on Democracy, Development and Transatlantic Relations. So I would like to welcome everyone, and especially Sviatlana Tshikanouskaya. Our parliament just adopted a resolution related to the current situation. I should cite our parliament resolution calling for international investigation in the crimes committed against peaceful demonstrators in Belarus and against their political will and against the fraud from the government side during the last elections. So in front of me, we have a resolution adopted by absolute majority of Council of Europe Parliamentary Assembly, Christos Porgoridis report. I would like to cite 2008. I would like to cite the point. In the opinion I presented on behalf of the Committee on Legal Affairs and Human Rights, the Parliamentary Assembly concluded that the elements presented in the report add to characterization of the Lukashenko regime as fully fledged dictatorship. So in this case, citing Christos Porgoridis report adopted by all committees and adopted by Parliamentary Assembly, and by fact that former opposition leaders, some of them disappeared and probably were killed, and especially report about Viktor Gonchar fate, former chairman of the Electoral Committee, who disappeared after refusing to sign the protocol of fraud in the elections in front of Lukashenko. I would like to ask you to consider from our state actions. And I would like to ask our friend, Secretary General, Mr. Savitsky, to add us what to do in the case when supporting proposals by Latvian and Polish delegation. We would like to have support democratic society and support to the people who are now become martyrs. I would like to remind that 7,000 people.
We're running very much over time. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I think
Thank you very much.
I think we've got the gist of that, but we'll make sure you talk to the Secretariat so that we do that. Can I move on to Johannes Sigitian? Please introduce yourself. Johannes, the floor is yours.
So, hi, dear colleagues. Johannes Sigitian. I'm from Armenia. My greetings, first of all. It's very nice to hear Madam Tikhanovskaya and Mr. Savitsky, and to have all information from both of sides. So, you know, there are a lot of declarations from different countries about situation in Belarus. Some of these declarations acceptable for one side, from other side, but I think we need to discuss this issue from the point of view that we are Council of Europe. I completely agree with our president, Mr. Rick Dams, who said, I can emphasize part of his speech, that our door is open for both sides. It's open for authorities, it's open for opposition, it opens for civil society also. I think we can be platform for at least discussion for all sides in Belarus. Maybe we can be table of negotiations if sides will accept to be part of
negotiations. I think we need to discuss in this point of view. I agree with my colleagues, my friend Kimo, Jacques Mayer, Frank Schwabe, Tini Cox, and others. They ask, first of all, to sides in Belarus. Are they ready to discuss in the platform Council of Europe? We are talking about delegation, which can be sent from Council of Europe to Belarus, but our sides are ready to accept this delegation. So it's my questions to both of sides. If we will decide to send delegation, it will be acceptable for them or not. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Johannes, and for sticking to time. Can I next go to Ingrid Shu, please? Please introduce yourself.
Thank you, and I'm Ingrid Shu, and I'm representing the Norwegian Parliament's delegation to the Council of Europe, and today I'm participate from a mobile phone up at Spitsbergen, so the technique is just perfect. And I would like to say that, but I'm also chairing the Rules Committee in PACE. But today I would like to very, very much underline that I like to see Belarus as a member of our organization. As an outsider, it's difficult to get a total overview of the opposition in your country, and I'm interested to hear more about how you work with other opposition groups and how you assess the possibility for establishing a joint political party and running in the next parliamentary election. And while in Lithuania, are you, Mrs. Tshikanouskaya, able to keep in close contact with members of the opposition working in Belarus? And I noted also that you, in your speech in the European Parliament, said that the struggle for democracy is not about geopolitics. I think this is a very important point. How can we, as the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe, best support the Belarusian people on your way into a true democracy? So I do also hope that you later today, Mrs. Tshikanouskaya, meet my Prime Minister, Mrs. Solberg, and have the possibility to also hear about the line from the Norwegian Parliament. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Ingrid. It shows you that the technology is now working very well from all the far-flung areas of the Council of Europe. Can we now go to Lucia Vasilienko? You have the floor. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Lesia Vasilienko. I am a member of the Ukrainian Parliament, member of the PACE delegation, of course. And today I would like to express full solidarity with the people of Belarus, and not just I myself, but most of the Ukrainian Parliament, which has on numerous occasions expressed and declared full support and full unrecognition of the parliamentary elections that took place in Belarus. I, as millions of Ukrainians, have full understanding of what is going on. Ukraine has gone through similar periods in 2004 and 2013, 2014, when the people were forced to go to the streets, when the constitution was not adhered to, when the laws were being ignored, and when the government was stepping over human rights and ignoring the people. Belarus right now is in a state of a great challenge of forming a society and a government where human rights are respected and where democracy and the rule of law are the core principles on which society is built. And I express great encouragement and great confidence in the people of Belarus that they will succeed in this great challenge. I also express great confidence that this challenge will bring Belarus and the countries of the Council of Europe closer together in our common struggle for democracy and rule of law across the European continent. And in this aspect, I would like to address Ms. Tshikanouskaya with the following question, and to hold the discussion in the following in the following way. What are the instruments and the mechanisms that we can together today adopt as quickly as possible to help this process of democracy and rule of law being established to the most in Belarus? What can we do effectively, be it sanctions, be it elections observers, be it re-elections, that can really impact the situation, and how can we adopt them as soon as possible? I thank you, Madam Chair.
Thanks very much, Lesia. Can we now go to Leonid Slutsky? Leonid, could you introduce yourself? Can we give him the floor? Have we got Leonid? Yes, we have. Please unmute yourself, Leonid, and introduce yourself. Thank you.
Добрый день, Шерил. Добрый день, доброе утро, дорогие коллеги. Леонид Слуцкий, председатель Комитета по международным делам Государственной Думы России. Я, учитывая, что мало времени, хотел бы сразу задать вопрос Франку Швабе. На каком основании, дорогой Франк, вы говорите о вмешательстве России? Думаю, что для этого у вас нет никаких оснований и никакого вмешательства. Хочу заявить на площадке нашей комиссии: нет, не было и не может быть. Кроме того, меня удивило выступление госпожи Тихановской, не только то, что она говорила от имени миллионов. Видимо, эти миллионы находятся, по ее мнению, за пределами Беларуси, поскольку на выборах она набрала чуть более полумиллиона голосов, как справедливо отметил мой коллега Кондратьев. И что касается протестов, к сожалению, протесты идут очень жесткие. Протесты идут явно спровоцированные извне. И то, что у нас, к сожалению, налицо вмешательство, внешнее вмешательство в дела суверенной Беларуси, это абсолютный факт. Цель этого вмешательства – расколоть общество, дестабилизировать ситуацию. Применение подобных методов мы, к великому сожалению, видели неоднократно на пространстве Совета Европы. Хотел бы поддержать выступление моего коллеги Андрея Владимировича Савиных, который, как и я, возглавляет комиссию по иностранным делам в Палате представителей Надсобрания Беларуси. Хотел бы поддержать всех белорусских коллег, которые сейчас находятся в очень непростой ситуации, но тем не менее борются за будущее своей страны, будущее своего народа, неизменно демократическое, неизменно в рамках высоких стандартов Совета Европы. Спасибо.
Thanks, Leonid, and thank you for sticking to time. We now go to Ahmet Yildiz. Ahmet, you have the floor. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, Madam Chair. This is Ahmet Yildiz from Turkey. I am the new chairperson of Turkish delegation to the Assembly.
Congratulations on your appointment.
See you face to face, hopefully soon. Madam Chair, dear colleagues, Turkey stands by Belarus regarding its membership to the Council and World Trade Organization and its willingness to develop realistic, practical relations with NATO. However, what happened in the aftermath of the elections is deeply worrying for everybody. We are concerned because these developments are taking toll on the people and on the country in general. We all know that the need for stability must be reconciled with democracy. We cannot prioritize among them. Stability and democracy should be observed equally. However, for any initiative to work, in my opinion, as a former diplomat, prioritizing dialogue and constructive engagement between the sides should be the rule. As hard as it is, pursuing a policy that privileges dialogue between the parties is the best option. Rushing for coercive measures may backfire and may cause more chaotic atmosphere as experienced in many other examples in the past. In this process, also, we need to be cognizant of political realities as well as legitimate aspirations in Belarus. I prioritize the dialogue still, as the colleague from Finland emphasized. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ahmed, and I look forward to seeing you face to face as well as with many of our colleagues. Can we now let Alex Poche have the floor? Alex, please introduce yourself.
Yes. Hello to everybody. Alexander Poche from Poland. I'm president of EPP Group to the Council of Europe. When I hear the language that was used by the representative of Parliament of Belarus, that reminds me 80s in Poland. Under the communist regime, when the Solidarity used to have around 70% of the popularity, the communists, by organizing the fake elections, they used to have 80% of the votes. Of course, everything was fake. So when I hear Mr. Kondratiev or Slutsky asking Ms. Tshikanouskaya why is she speaking in behalf of her nation, I remember those times in Poland. So I was observing 5 years ago elections in Belarus. And I must say, this is nothing that had nothing to do with the free election. I wonder if those elections would be organized freely and the normal way. I'm pretty sure that the results would be completely different. And also, I'm very concerned about the language used, speaking about this foreign influence. That was exactly the same. And this is leading us into very dangerous situation in Europe. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Alex. That's the next speaker I have is in fact Lord Blencathra. Can we let David Blencathra in, please? And please introduce yourself.
Yes, good morning, Madam President, Madam Chairman. I'm David Lord Blencathra of the United Kingdom, and I was privileged to lead the observation mission to Belarus last November to watch the parliamentary elections. And we reported to the Assembly in January of this year in Strasbourg, and amongst our findings, we found some fundamental flaws in the whole election procedure. Without going through them all today, some of the important ones were irregularities on polling day, that ballot box seals were not proper, the counting process was not transparent and lots of deficiencies noticed, no reconciliation between the numbers who signed the register and the number of ballot papers counted, the composition of the election commission was unbalanced, no central register and no cross-checking of local registers for duplication, severe obstacles to political party registration, candidates not registered or deregistered for minor clerical reasons, early voting was open to fraud, and of course employees of state institutions were heavily involved campaigning for pro-government candidates, and the media were totally biased towards the president. Now, the point is, Madam Chairman, the current presidential elections were fought on exactly the same flawed election law. Never mind the irregularities on polling day, which were considerable, the main problem in Belarus is the election law itself is not free and fair. Now, that has been pointed out by the Venice Commission, has been pointed out by us for the last 5 years. There is little prospect of it changing under the current regime. So my concern is this: I don't have a solution for the immediate problem, but I am concerned that when and if a time comes that the current president steps down or is removed and there's a demand for new presidential elections, it is vital that the election law is changed first. If we rush into new presidential elections with the same old flawed legal system, again, the result will be in doubt. So I conclude by saying at some point in the future, if we get new presidential elections, the election law must be changed first, and the Council of Europe and the Venice Commission stand ready to assist. Thank you.
Thank you, David. I'm going to now ask the technical team to let in Lisa Yasko because she disappeared from the list and has appeared again down the bottom. Can we let Lisa in? Lisa, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you very much. Good afternoon and greetings from Ukraine. I'm Lisa Yasko, head of Ukrainian delegation. And I want to start with expressing my full support and admiration of all representatives of Belarus opposition and all people who are at protest on the streets of Belarus, fighting for freedom. That's something that is very familiar to Ukrainians, and we fully support it because we know how much it is important to fight for freedom and for democracy. And I want to stress that for those who have some doubts whether Lukashenko has any legitimacy or no, I want just to stress the fact that in 21st century, Belarus still has death penalty. Kidnappings still happen, and we have so much evidence right now. And is it not enough for us to act and to understand that actually we need to support the people of Belarus and Sviatlana Tshikanouskaya and all others who suffer now? We need to act on this. And other thing on the Russian interference. We know that there was an open statement from Vladimir Putin that Russia is ready to give any kind of support to Belarus just to stop the peaceful protest. Is it not an evidence? I think we need to act and support any initiatives on behalf of the Council of Europe to create also the sanction list and those who violate human rights right now in Belarus. And we should welcome democratic Belarus in the Council of Europe very soon. And for that, we need to act. Thank you very much.
Lisa, thanks very much for that. Now we're going to go to Petra Tolstoy. Petra, do we have? We'll come back if we can't get Petra Tolstoy on. No, we have. Can you introduce yourself? Thank you.
Добрый день, меня зовут Петр Толстой, я глава российской делегации, и ввиду того, что время ограничено, хотел бы высказать несколько тезисов, уважаемые коллеги, для того, чтобы вы могли подумать над теми решениями, которые призван принять наш комитет. Во-первых, говорить о том, что выборы фальсифицированы в отсутствии наблюдателей от парламентской ассамблеи и от ОБСЕ как-то странно. Это не вяжется с тезисом о верховенстве права. Верховенство права – это соблюдение закона. В данном случае мы не имеем прямых доказательств того, что какие-либо выборы были фальсифицированы. Во-вторых, госпожа Тихановская в своем выступлении твердо настаивала на том, что за ней какие-то огромные массы белорусов, тогда как она получила 10% голосов. Она никого не представляет и не может быть стороной переговоров, каких бы то ни было. И теперь самое важное. Все участники этой дискуссии задаются вопросом, а какова наша роль? Как мы можем повлиять? Я вам скажу. Главная наша роль заключается в том, что, как сказал господин Демс, решение этой проблемы находится внутри Беларуси. Оно находится в руках граждан Беларуси. И они должны начать диалог между собой. И, конечно, и Совет Европы, и в частности Российская Федерация всегда выступали и выступают за такой диалог. А чего мы не должны делать? Мы не должны пытаться быть посредниками. Мы видели уже посредничество Европы в государственном перевороте на Украине в 2014 году. Мы видим сейчас заявления наших коллег из Украины, которые нарушили собственную конституцию, проводили третий тур выборов и прогнали собственного президента, вопреки своему закону, при полной поддержке демократической Европы. такая поддержка Белоруссии не нужна, и я уверен, что союзное государство, в которое входит Беларусь, вместе с Российской Федерацией выход найдет. Вмешиваться в чужие дела нельзя. Спасибо.
Thanks very much, Petra. Now we'll go to Mr. Kislyak. Can we give him the floor? Can we unmute? Mr. Kislyak, there you are. You need to unmute yourself. That's
Спасибо
it.
большое, госпожа председатель.
Спасибо.
Так получилось, что я выступаю сразу за главой собственной делегации, и поэтому могу сэкономить несколько на тезисах, но хочу несколько продолжить, потому что это важно. Я слушаю сегодняшнюю дискуссию, и в попытке ответить на вопрос, а что может сделать Совет Европы, слушаю тональность, которую задают мои коллеги в Совете Европы этой дискуссии, и, собственно, рецепты, которые через эту тональность они уже предлагают. Я поражен, когда на фоне необходимости дать возможность самим белорусам решить собственную судьбу, и я согласен с нашим председателем, господином Демси, что решение всех проблем Беларуси должно лежать в Белоруссии и даже принадлежит только народу Белоруссии. Человек, который выступал на выборах, госпожа Тихановская, сегодня задает дискуссию через призму необходимости давить на свою страну, оказывать давление. Я записал все эти синонимы, которые она употребляла, и я сам себя спрашивал, даже если предположить, что люди такие, как она и те, кого она представляет, хотят участвовать в диалоге в Беларуси относительно его будущего, а насколько они правомочны представлять белорусов в таком диалоге, я уж не говорю о диалоге вовне страны, потому что вместо того, чтобы работать над проблемами в своей стране, они занимаются в основном тем, что пытаются набрать больше поддержки в давлении на собственную страну, на собственное руководство. И при этом мы забываем вот во всей этой дискуссии одну простую вещь, которая касается прав человека и прав тех, кто голосовал за господина Лукашенко. Что бы ни говорили, кто бы ни пытался по-разному считать результаты голосов, меня сейчас это меньше интересует. Главное и неоспоримое в том, что абсолютное большинство белорусов поддержали своего президента. И сегодня это проявляется в том, что, несмотря на митинги в Минске, я закончу, несмотря на митинги в Минске, белорусский народ работает на своих рабочих местах, занимается строительством своей страны и стоит в своем большинстве за своего президента. Вот во всей этой дискуссии, которая сегодня имела место, кто-нибудь вспомнил о том, что есть люди, и хотят это противники президента или нет, это абсолютное большинство, которое поддерживает своего президента. И вот что важно, что проблемы в стране накопились. И это руководство, насколько я понял, из выступления представителя парламента Беларуси хорошо понимает. Нужен диалог для того, чтобы осовременить политическую систему. И необходимо дать возможность белорусам самим сделать собственную работу о своем будущем. Спасибо.
Thank you. I'm sorry to rush you on, but we still have several speakers to go, and we're running up against time now. Can we let in Piero Fassino, please? Piero, you have the floor. Please introduce yourself.
Grazie Presidente, grazie Presidente. Saluto naturalmente i nostri ospiti. Vorrei concentrare la mia attenzione in 2 minuti su 2 questioni. La prima, non c'è dubbio che noi dobbiamo esprimere solidarietà, sostegno al movimento di opposizione civile che in questo momento è nelle piazze di Minsk e delle altre città bielorusse, perché non c'è dubbio che le elezioni sono state viziate da brogli, da manipolazioni, che non consentono di riconoscere il processo elettorale come un processo elettorale trasparente, e dunque la richiesta di riconvocare le elezioni e naturalmente con tutte le garanzie di svolgimento democratico e con una presenza di osservatori internazionali che ne verifichino il carattere democratico, credo sia la rivendicazione principale che noi dobbiamo sostenere. La seconda questione riguarda la funzione del Consiglio d'Europa. Io sono d'accordo col Presidente del Consiglio d'Europa, dell'Assemblea, un'azione di mediazione politica per favorire l'apertura di un dialogo tra le autorità e i rappresentanti dell'opposizione. Io credo che sarebbe utile verificare la possibilità, come ha chiesto Cox, di una delegazione, a patto che la delegazione possa naturalmente incontrare non solo le autorità al potere, ma anche tutti gli esponenti dei vari fronti e delle varie posizioni politiche bielorusse, e credo che il Consiglio d'Europa dovrebbe, consultandosi e concordando con l'OSCE e con l'Unione Europea, mettere in campo una iniziativa, e credo che dovremmo chiedere questo al segretario generale del Consiglio d'Europa, in modo tale che ci sia una visibile e forte iniziativa del Consiglio immediatamente. Grazie.
Thanks very much, Piero. Can we now go to Reinhold Lopatka? Reinhold, can you introduce yourself? Thank you. Okay.
Hello.
Hi, Reinhold, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. I had some problems. I'm Reinhold Lopatka, head of the Austrian delegation, and I want to underline from our side that we are absolutely in favor of a broad-based national dialogue in Belarus to find a peaceful way out of this crisis. And therefore, I have two concrete questions asking both of our guests, Sviatlana Tshikanouskaya and Andrei Savinik. First, are you in favor that the parliamentary delegation of the Council of Europe has the chance to go soon to Belarus? This is my first question. And my second question is, what do you think is the best way of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe to support you in this dialogue? Do you see a chance for the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe to be involved in this dialogue? We all wish that Belarus has the chance to join the European common values. And if this is ongoing, this process, I'm sure that we will have Belarus soon as a member of the Council of Europe. Thank you very much, and please give me an answer to my two questions.
Reinhold, thank you for that and for staying well within time. Can we let Boriana Aberg in, please? Boriana, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good day, everyone from Stockholm. My name is Boriana Aberg, and I'm head of the Swedish delegation. I want to declare my and the Swedish delegation's solidarity with the people of Belarus. We are deeply concerned about the situation in Belarus, but also hopeful because of people of Belarus have clearly declared that they want to live in peace and democracy. They're tired of being ruled by a dictator. There is no doubt that the demonstrations are peaceful and express the true will of the people of Belarus. We strongly condemn the violence by authorities, and we urge them to immediately release the detained protesters. The question I had has already been asked, so I want to just say thank you to Madame Tshikanouskaya. Thank you for you and other people in the opposition reminding people in Belarus of their own dignity. Thank you.
Thanks, Boriana. Can we now give Samad Saidov the floor, please? Samad, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So nice to hear and to see all our friends. Everybody is able to see that Belarus is changing. Let me introduce myself. I'm chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee of Azerbaijani Parliament and leader of Azerbaijani delegation to the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe. Everybody is able to see that Belarus is changing. And I think Council of Europe could and should be more active and could be a part of these developments. And today we are able to see both sides at the screen. I think this is a vivid example that the question addressed by the President of the Parliamentary Assembly is a crucial one. Nobody wants to be a part of the problem. Everybody wants to be a part of the solution. And we are in favor to see Council of Europe in these developments. Council of Europe should be more active, more proactive in this dialogue, because this is only one way to see developments changing in Belarus, but at the same time to keep the stability within this very important country for the Council of Europe and for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Samad. Now, the last speaker I have, before I ask our initial speakers to respond, is Nicole Trees. Nicole, you have the floor. Can we let Nicole in? Perfect. Nicole, can you introduce yourself? Thank you.
Oui, merci. C'est un débat particulièrement intéressant parce qu'effectivement, nous avons différents acteurs autour de cette table, même si elle est virtuelle. Vous m'entendez?
Sorry, just introduce. Yes, we're hearing you. Can you introduce yourself because we're live streaming, so the audience knows
Oui,
who
bien
you
sûr.
are.
C'est vrai, bien sûr, excusez-moi. Je suis donc Nicole Trees, députée française et chef de la délégation française au Conseil de l'Europe. Voilà. Il y a déjà eu beaucoup de choses qui ont été dites. C'est vrai que le problème, et ça nous inquiète énormément, c'est effectivement ce manque de démocratie, ces arrestations, ces manifestations qui sont réprimées, alors qu'au départ, c'était une manifestation qui était tout de même pacifique le soir des élections. Nous, en tant que Conseil de l'Europe, on a des valeurs démocratiques et pour les droits de l'homme. Et en ce sens, je pense qu'il faut effectivement qu'on fasse partie d'une solution de dialogue. Lorsque j'entends parler d'influence étrangère, je suis un peu étonnée parce qu'en fait, certains collègues de pays parlent d'influence étrangère, mais personne ne parle de cette propagande intérieure qu'il y a en ce moment au Bélarus. Ainsi, il faut savoir que tous les quarts d'heure, toutes les chaînes télé sont entrecoupées de spots où est annoncée la mobilisation de l'OTAN, prête à bombarder la Biélorussie avec des images de villes irakiennes, syriennes détruites. Alors, si ça, ce n'est pas de la propagande, je ne sais pas ce que c'est. En tout cas, c'est une forme quand même de manipulation qui est quand même problématique. Par ailleurs, Vladimir Poutine a annoncé qu'il était prêt à aider militairement la Biélorussie et également à aider au maintien de l'ordre. Là encore, si ce n'est pas une ingérence ou une influence étrangère, qu'est-ce que c'est? Et j'ai bien entendu nos collègues et amis russes qui disaient qu'en aucun cas M. Poutine n'interviendrait. Mais alors, qu'est-ce à dire? Pourquoi est-ce qu'on a ce genre de paroles décrites dans les journaux? Ce que je voudrais dire surtout, c'est que finalement, Le peuple bélarusse ne cherche pas à savoir s'il veut être russe ou européen ou autre chose. Ce qu'il cherche avant tout, c'est la paix. La paix et la démocratie autour d'un président qui doit être élu démocratiquement. Et il me semble que c'est à nous, Conseil de l'Europe, entre autres, et notamment de les accompagner dans ce processus démocratique avec une vigilance particulièrement accrue sur les droits de l'homme, l'état de droit et la démocratie. On sait que les missions d'observation nous l'ont dit, que certaines élections n'ont pas été équitables et on ne peut pas se voiler la face à ce propos-là. Je vous remercie.
Thank you very much, Nicole. I now want to give our two initial speakers the right to reply. So I would ask Mr. Savinik if he could please apply to speak so we can let him into the room to do a wind up of this debate. Can I just say that we have had, I think it is some 25 speakers, which is tremendous participation from right across the whole of the Council of Europe. And I thank everybody for their contribution. Can we now let in Mr. Savinik, please? And we'll give him the floor. And Mr. Savinik, I propose to give you 4 minutes if that is
Уважаемые дамы и господа, я благодарю за высказанные мнения. Откровенно говоря, я несколько был удивлен тем обилием заявлений, которые с моей точки зрения не соответствуют действительности. Тем не менее, я глубоко убежден, что они были озвучены из лучших побуждений, хотя и, в общем-то, базируются на неверном представлении о том, что происходит в Республике Беларусь. Были высказаны также и ряд вопросов, на которые я хотел бы ответить. Но учитывая очень жесткий регламент и ограниченность времени, я бы хотел построить свой ответ следующим образом. Сначала я озвучу 2 тезиса, чего нам, наверное, не хотелось бы. Следующий тезис будет посвящен тому, что мы хотим сделать, и потом, как мы видим вот это взаимодействие с международными организациями, с нашими партнерами, в том числе в Европе. Мы видим сейчас очень много тезисов звучат о создании специальных фондов со вполне значительными финансовыми ресурсами для поддержки оппозиционного или даже протестного движения. Конечно, это идет не от Совета Европы, это идет скорее от исполнителей ветвей власти европейских стран. На мой взгляд, это тупиковый и весьма опасный путь, поскольку за эти деньги в реальности формируются группы внешнего влияния, которые создают протесты ради заработка. Ну а в результате они усиливают недоверие в обществе и недоверие между различными социальными группами. С точки зрения здравого смысла такой подход может быть объяснен только желанием разрушения белорусской или ослабления белорусской государственности и введением внешнего управления. Второй тезис – это тезис о внешнем содействии в урегулировании внутриполитической ситуации. Причем очень часто под текстом этих предложений звучит безальтернативный диалог о передаче власти. Мы не согласны с оценками о фальсификации выборов и полагаем, что президентом Республики Беларусь, победившим на прошедших выборах, является Александр Лукашенко. В этой связи мы просим вас более реалистично оценивать ситуацию. Власть в Беларуси остается устойчивой и стабильной. Поэтому это также тупиковый путь, если он будет построен на таких принципах. Теперь о том, что мы все-таки хотим обеспечить внутри нашей страны. Мы хотим провести широкий инклюзивный диалог с участием всех легитимных общественных объединений, который приведет к внедрению системных изменений в нашу Конституцию. В рамках этой работы мы хотим обеспечить либерализацию политической системы, изменение, как, кстати, сегодня здесь звучало, избирательного законодательства, изменение закона о массовых мероприятиях. перераспределение объема полномочий президента и парламента с существенным усилением, укреплением полномочий парламента и очень серьезным повышением роли политических партий. Завершиться этот процесс должен через референдум, общенациональный референдум по принятию новой Конституции. В этом процессе мы не исключаем, а в принципе можем даже и приветствовать участие Комитета министров Совета Европы, Венецианской комиссии, Комитета местных и региональных властей Совета Европы в экспертном обсуждении проводимых в нашей стране законодательных реформ. Проектные предложения, инициативы этих структур с удовольствием будут рассмотрены белорусской стороной для совершенства нашей национальной, политической и законодательной системы. Это очень важный вопрос. Но при этом, раз уж мы ведем разговор в данном случае с ПАСЕ, мне бы хотелось также и обратить ваше внимание на то, что мы все-таки надеемся, что разговор и с вашей организацией будет открытым. Что я имею в виду? Приведу конкретный пример. Хочу обратить внимание, что хотя мы и не являемся членом Совета Европы, тем не менее мы пригласили делегацию ПАСЕ в качестве наблюдателей на парламентских выборах в ноябре прошлого года. Но, к сожалению, белорусских представителей не позвали на заседание комиссии ПАСЕ в декабре прошлого года, на котором рассматривался доклад наблюдательной миссии Ассамблеи о парламентских выборах. Белорусских представителей также не позвали на январскую сессию уже в этом году, на которой этот доклад был утвержден. Хотя, как известно, у нас были предложения принципиального характера, и мы хотели, чтобы обсудить эти вопросы абсолютно открыто, демократичным путем. Нам хотелось бы, чтобы вот такого рода взаимодействие все-таки носило открытый характер, одинаковый для всех его участников. В этом случае мы найдем взаимопонимание и, что самое главное, выработаем доверие на этом направлении. Исходя из такого понимания процесса, мы готовы к взаимодействию с нашими партнерами, но этот диалог должен быть открытый, честный и уважительный, и без каких-либо предварительных условий, давления и поучений. Мы рассчитываем также, что ПАСЕ и наши другие зарубежные партнеры проявят мудрость и непредвзятость, откажутся от вот этих поспешных оценок, выводов и решений и не будут способствовать дальнейшему расколу белорусского общества и дестабилизации ситуации в нашей стране. Я благодарю за приглашение и возможность принять участие в нашей дискуссии. Извините, если немножко переходило время.
Mr. Saming, that's fine. Can I just say to everybody that is watching and to my colleagues that sadly I've received information that Madam Tshikanouskaya has had to leave, but she has indicated that she will respond to the Secretariat either in writing or talking to the Secretariat and respond to everybody's questions. I think I've got a request from Emmanuelis Zingaris to speak. Can we just let Mr. Zingaris in to speak to see what he would like to say? Emmanuelis, the floor is yours. Emmanuelis, you have to unmute if you want to make a contribution. Yeah. Very, very briefly, please.
Yes, thank you. Dear Chairman, we have tradition in Political Affairs Committee. You can trust that I know the tradition of Political Affairs Committee and other committees who are active member for the last 25 years, that we can ask Secretary General, Mr. Savitsky, in this case, for his opinion and to have his comment about our political possibilities to form delegation and to have our ties to the Belarusian democracy in the future, how technically we can solve and how technically we can appeal from our Political Affairs Committee to forming a delegation or to making requests to Belarusian authorities. Can we have professional comment by this probably number one professional in our parliamentary assembly? Thank you very much, ma'am.
Mr. Zingras, thank you so much for that. Yes, I will arrange for that to take place. We are meeting again this afternoon, and I will ask whether we can have that contribution this afternoon. Can I just say to both our visitors, to Madam Tshikanouskaya and Mr. Sanovic, thank you so much for coming and facilitating this discussion. I think a lot of goodwill towards the people of Belarus has been very apparent in all the contributions from our 25 members of parliament that have spoken today. I think what is particularly noticeable from all the contributions is that we have condemned the violence that has taken place, and there is concern about the reports of the disappearance of people, but there has been tremendous solidarity expressed in line with the principles of the Council of Europe with the people of Belarus. There is certainly a great deal of interest in sending a delegation. And as we just heard from Emanuelis Zingaris, we will talk amongst ourselves to see what is possible, and we will find out. But I gather there is probably broadly acceptance that that could be a possibility, particularly as Mr. Savinik says he wants broad-ranging and inclusive dialogue and a change to the electoral code, and would welcome contributions from the Council of Europe, and particularly the Venice Commission. You know, we have two reports that will be produced, one on the call for an inclusive national political process in Belarus, and one on the urgent need for electoral reform in Belarus. So I hope that those reports will be produced swiftly through the Council of Europe and be available. I think what is really, really significant is that we have here the basis for good dialogue and the goodwill towards, as one of our members of the political committee said, they would like to welcome Belarus as the 48th member. Unfortunately, for the reasons I outlined at the beginning, the application was suspended. But there is always that possibility in the future for a country that is, after all, at the heart of Europe, and not least geographically. There is not agreement amongst all our members. You would not expect that to happen in the Council of Europe. But we've been live streaming this because there is so much interest in what has been happening in Belarus. And I hope people are able to see the value of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe. This is where 47 countries come together with observers and many others to look at human rights and the development of democracy. It's an important gathering and body of elected parliamentarians. And I hope that if you've joined us for this live streaming event, that you will join us again on similar occasions. You can listen to our hearings on our websites, and the Council of Europe is open for everyone to come and see us in Strasbourg. Can I once again thank everybody for their contributions, and we are going to have the opportunity to discuss the situation